Eyup cock. Bloody hell. It's been a busy old weekend, this. Championship review for this weekend's games, starting with Hull versus Middlesbrough on Friday night, which were whitewashed for Borough 4-1. I'll tell you what, I watched this, expecting goals, obviously, but my God, that first half is the best that I've seen Middlesbrough in waking memory. Like, this is one of the best Middlesbrough performances that I've ever seen in first half. Obviously, second one, I know people are going to come straight for it and go, yeah, but it's 4-1, it weren't 4-0, they could have gone for some more. Never happens. If you're 4-0 up away from home at half time, you're going to sit back, and that's just inevitable. The stats are going to look like that. That first half performance were incredible. And this Swedish gaffer, I was slightly worried for the first couple of games coming in with a very attacking-minded approach into a new division. We aside that second in table as well, so there's some expectations set there for you already. Full new team for him, full new everything. So to come in his first couple of games, you beat Derby, a very physical side at home, and then to come here and be 4-0 up at half-time and just absolutely slap all up to start to finish and show no signs of stopping, by the way. They were 2-0 up and they'd go on counter again and there'd be 7 blokes sprinting for net. There were no mercy at all. They were cutthroat start to finish in that first half. It were insane how good they were. Taking risks and all, you know. This Gilbert fella that they've got here, not someone that constantly gets minutes. In fact, is that his first league start this season? Or his first appearance full stop? He'll man at match. Like, easily. We're a rate player. They just look fantastic, seriously. And I know we're going to come and look at it. Obviously, there's some other sides that are putting it on a little bit more in the last few weeks. Some sides that you'd expect to be up there. Your Ipswiches and Southamptons, they're really starting to come on a little bit more. But there's a 5-point gap from Middlesbrough to Ipswich. Like, Millwall obviously doing really good as well, but as a top 2, I don't know. But Middlesbrough, second place, like, only looking like they're going to get better with this new gaffer that they've brought in. I am really liking their chances in the last couple of weeks after seeing this block. I've seen enough already. Fantastic manager. Before I move on to next, obviously, Hull won't be too disheartened here. You're in 9th. I think we've maybe got to rein those expectations in a little bit, and I'm biggest culprit of that because I think they could do it just with how much they've got at top end of pitch. I think they could be a top 6er. I really do. But maybe realism starting to set in a little bit. But fantastic win for Middlesbrough, that top draw. Moving into Saturdays, Charlton Portsmouth were unfortunately postponed after a fan died, poor bloke. So that's obviously finished 0-0. That'll be rescheduled. Moving into Derby and Leicester, another one that I'm going to sit here and say I didn't see coming, obviously. Derby losing. They weren't better sides start to finish. Like, they had loads of possession, loads of shots. Leicester, in typical fashion, have had very minimal chances and scored all of them. That doesn't surprise me that much. But I didn't think they'd come here and win. I really didn't. Like, Derby, last few weeks, if not months, to be honest, have been much, much better. But against sides that have maybe got more quality than they have in the last few weeks, you're looking at some players that Watford have got. Obviously, Middlesbrough second in division and Leicester. The better personnel are the games that Derby are falling in a minute. I'm getting some flack from Investigard shout, you know, as well. I've seen comments. I haven't responded to them yet because I was out all day yesterday. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of flack from my Investigard comments saying I think he's been Leicester's best player so far. A lot of them are saying Jordan James, which is like fair dues. I think defensively is Leicester's strong point because, like, yes, they won 3-1, but again, look at the shots that they've had. They don't go and this is probably being nitpicky because they've won 3-1 away at Derby, so it's a top win. But they're not going to Derby and like absolutely putting it on them, which they should be doing. They're going and like they scrape the wins Leicester. I don't think it's sustainable long term what they're doing. But obviously, right here and now, Derby away, like bob on. But long term, do I think Leicester will be a top 6er? No. Not like, honestly, I don't think it'll even be close. I can name 10 teams off dome right now that I think are finishing in front of them. Shall I? Do it for a laugh. All of the current top 8, I think, will, plus Southampton, plus Wrexham, done. Just plus Sheffield United for number 1, easy. More consistency, please, for Leicester if you want to do all. And I think the Leicester fans know that and all. Watford and Norwich, this looked a great game. I thought Norwich, because obviously we're watching scores come in, I thought Norwich had done them here, you know. When they went 2-1 up going into half-time, I thought, yeah, obviously Watford are going to put it on them, but it was a really good time to score that second and at 45th minute. I just thought, yeah, I think these could see it out here. But cream rises, baby, and the better players have prevailed for Watford again. Luz looked like he had a good game, but this bloke, top draw. Top draw. To be fair, quite a mixed start, but I really like him. Seriously, I think he's a really good striker. Him. We're all looking at Norwich, though, and thinking, oh, they've been playing a lot better recently, and they look a lot better going forward, scoring a lot more goals. I don't think they've had a particularly hard start for Philippe Clement, the new gaffer. Birmingham away is a toughie, but then Oxford at QPR at home and Watford away. 4 points out of them 4 games, and that's so saying like, oh, they're doing a lot better. That ain't good enough. Especially going down to the bottom, and we've been saying this for weeks now, looking at some sides that will not be there long term. Sheffield United have gone. Blackburn, I think, have got a bit. If the pitch could ever hold up, professional football team at Championship that's got a chuffing Sunday League pitch. A bit embarrassing, but if they had a proper decent pitch, then I think they could maybe pull away from it a little bit. West Brom upwards, none of them are in trouble. I still struggle to find 3 worse sides than Norwich at minute. And yes, they are getting better, but better ain't good enough. Like, they've got to do a lot more quick. And Watford away is not exactly an easy game. I'm not saying that as well. They're really, really good at home. That's a constant theme. But come on, man. You have got to start getting some more points, and quick, Norwich. Like, the performances are getting better, yeah, but the points aren't. They're still crap. Blackburn on Wednesday. This is a joke. This is genuinely disgusting, to be honest. I don't know how they can keep getting away with this. For a club the size of Blackburn anyway, how many major honours have they got? Like 12? How have you got a Sunday League pitch? Any team in Championship, I'll tell you what, I'll go on further and say even League One. If you are a professional football team in the top 3 divisions of this game with the amount of money in it, if you cannot have a proper filtered pitch, you should be fined heavily every single time. You should forfeit your points. Like, I thought it was ridiculous that they had to replay a game against Ipswich when they were winning it, especially. And I feel sorry for players, and I feel sorry for fans in Ismail that they're going to have 2 games here. That they might play Wednesday again and lose. Probably would have bet Ipswich that first game. Ipswich 9-10 men, Blackburn were winning with 15 minutes left. They've replayed game and got a point. So I feel sorry for the club and the fans that Blackburn have got. But as an institution, as a football club, this is genuinely ridiculous. If you're in Championship and you've got to abandon your game because there's too much chuffing rain, what, in England? In North West? God, that never happens. You should forfeit your points immediately. I think from future reference, if Blackburn have to call a game off, this is against Wednesday, by the way. I am pro-Wednesday in this. Wednesday should get all 3 points in this because it should just not be happening. 2025, the amount of money in this game, you should not be calling games off for a waterlogged pitch. So respectfully, I'm not going to get any credit. I'm not going to say anything about this game. Like, Blackburn should lose the points, and we're going to move on. Oh, God. Bristol City and Millwall. Let them come, baby. Didn't see that shit coming at all. I'll tell you what, if it keeps working, this little jinx I'm going, next week, you best believe Millwall are losing. 2 points off second. You know one thing about Millwall? They are so good at grinding games out like this. The amount of clean sheets that Millwall keep, because obviously the defensive side of things, they are crazy. Like Cooper Taylor-Kramer, as what realistically shifts into a back 3 and Sturge pushes forward a little bit. That is a top draw defensive unit for Championship. Top standard. Quite a young team in all. Bangura Williams and Imaku both starting. There's Kelly starting in middle of park. Sturge. A young team there with a lot of resale value that Millwall have got. And they weren't actually under cost that much. Like, quite an even game. Bristol City have had more at ball, as you'd expect, being at home to Millwall. But quite an even game. And again, going back to it, the clean sheet side of things. A 1-0 against Wednesday. Yeah, it's only Wednesday. But a 1-0 there. A 1-0 against Bristol City. A 1-0 against Leicester. Like, the grinding results out against Stoke. They're getting odd point. If they can't win, they're getting odd point. They've been slapped against Birmingham and they had a red card against Portsmouth. And they're the only losses going to Coventry. We're going to win league. They're quite a consistent team, Millwall. And I just really like Alex Neil as well. I like what he's about. I just love Millwall. And I think, telling them this might be it. Midfield depth's back now for Bristol City, so you can't even use that as an excuse. Again, a little bit hot and cold recently. Only 2 wins in 7 games. Got to find a little bit more consistency, or for a side that's been in and around it constantly, they could find themselves sliding away quite quickly. Bristol City. When you look at them being, a couple losses away from 16th. Like, come on. This is a side that's been up and around it, that started so well. But if you start sliding and not winning many games, we how tight this division is, if you're not consistent enough, you will slide very quick. The Millwall boys keep chipping away down the 3rd place. Go on, the boys. Mill. Oh, mate, that's top draw. That is top standard. I did not see this coming ever. I really didn't think that Ipswich would win this game. With momentum that Coventry were bringing into it. But, well, to be fair, I did say in the prediction thing that it could go 1 or 2 ways. Because you've got 2 very contrasting managers here. Like a coach in McKenna that's going to try and tweak everything to the last inch of your life. And a very quite simple manager, I would say, in Lampard. And I think that's a very big, strong point of him. It could have gone easily 1 or 2 ways. But I think Ipswich have just had him. I wouldn't even say it's a thing of, like, overwhelming quality has prevailed here. Because Coventry have got more possession. It's very even in terms of shots and stuff like that. But Ipswich's chances that they made from what highlights showed did look better quality ones. Coventry didn't really create that many big chances where you sat there thinking, oh, they probably should have scored that. I think Ipswich had them in that regard, defo. 3-0's maybe a bit crazy and flatters them a little bit, but Ipswich did deserve win. from bits that I've seen. Quite resolute defensively and all. Like O'Shea and Kipper have been really good so far. Davis is obviously just outstanding. They've cleaned up in front of him with Taylor and Matusio are quite good. Now Matusio has done well, but is that the first game that Coventry haven't scored in? I feel like they've drawn maybe at one point. You're looking all the way to, the June 0-0 with Leicester, but that's the only game that they've not scored in. Oh, and a 0-0 against Hull, to be fair. So that's the third game that they've not scored in. A side that scores so many and has got 50 goals in 19 games now. To keep them shut out, I know you're at home and Ipswich should expect to be up there and realistically, Ipswich should win 3-0 every week anyway. We are strong they are compared to everybody else. But to keep that Coventry side to not score against you, that is top draw stuff. That what a huge win and a bit of a statement and a wake-up call to rest at Dave. Like, no one's taking Ipswich that seriously. They've not started well by their own standards. Nobody's really looking at them and thinking, God, yeah, I can see these really starting to put it on soon. Like, they've not really done anything. They've been losing against teams like Oxford, for example. No disrespect to you there. But got battered off Charlton. But I think for the most part, they've put these dodgy results behind them. You are going to have one every now and again. But I think apart from, Middlesbrough with this new gaffer and maybe Southampton coming off at the horizon, Birmingham's away form's a bit too iffy for me at the minute, but I still think they're a contender. Ipswich do look like a very strong candidate for top two, and this should be. I do think Coventry have pulled away from it probably too much already, and yeah, definitely. The 12 points in front to Ipswich, they're not going to make that up on them. But that is top draw. That what a win that is for Ipswich. Preston and Wrexham, yep. I mean, it were always going to be a draw. This Kiefer Moore scores first goal. Preston put it on them quite a bit, to be fair, especially in second half. But you know that team that Wrexham have put out there. That just isn't even that good, is it? Like, I know they've brought a lot of players in and a lot of quality as well, but you've got to give Parky's credit where it's due, you know. And I'm not one on giving him it so far because I do think they should be doing better with the players that they brought in and the 11 that they can field. The depth's incredible. Like, that, for the most part, looks like quite a second-string side with McLean, Thomason, Barnett, like Dan Scarr. The Broadhead, I wouldn't even say Broadhead's a nail on starter. I'd say like Windass and Moore as your front two. You've got like 4 at least that wouldn't start for the best team that's coming here and done quite well to go away to Preston and get a point. Preston are no mugs. They're sat in playoffs for a reason. So despite me thinking that, like, if Wrexham had a different manager, like a Danny Rowe, for example, at time, or someone that's a bit more forward thinking, then I think they'd definitely be in top 6. But he's done well here, Parker, to come out with this team and get a point away at Preston. I think he's done really good. QPR 3, West Brom 1. Sack him right now. Why is Mason still there? I have not got a clue. I ain't got a clue. They show snippets of being a half-decent side. Not a good one. Like, let's not talk crazy right now. Not a good side. They show snippets of being like a top-half potential side. The 16th. 16th! Oh my God. The money that West Brom have spent, the players that they've brought in. How? How could they accept this? You've got to start Mason. He's crap. This is against a QPR side, by the way, that has shown a little bit more consistency in recent weeks, but for the most part has looked like a side that ain't going to amount to anything, really, this season. So you've come here surely expecting something. Surely a West Brom fan is going into this game. Ignore the Mason aspect. Say if he weren't there and you had any other manager. West Brom are coming to this game thinking, well, we should get a point, but we maybe think we could win this, maybe, in a real universe where West Brom accepts what the expectations should be, which is playoffs at least, really, with this team. But I think a lot of people come here and are hoping for a draw, if anything, not like thinking, oh, we should get a draw. I think West Brom fans are going into this thinking, oh, maybe we could sneak a draw here against a fucking bang average side. You West Brom in Championship, higher expectations. Mason's got to go, blood. He has got to go, blood. You cannot be 16th in this division with West Brom. You just can't. Mason's got to go. He's crap. Good win for QPR, though. Like, not to take anything away from him. Burrell, that they've brought in from Burton, he is chipping away quite nicely. 9 goals in 19 games. Really shit at him. Still think QPR have got a bit of a problem trying to find the best team. You know, going forward, you've got Kone, this Saito, Ilias Chair, Burrell, Dembele, Poku, an unused sub. They've got some really good forwards, QPR has, and trying to use them all properly at right places at right time and keep them all happy is its own struggle. But they're doing quite well, QPR, last few weeks. If they can keep more consistent, we might start looking at them and thinking, okay, maybe we could get in there. But we did that a month ago, and then they lost like 5 games in a row. So it's not about being consistent in blocks of once every 2 months and then being crap for another month. Like, you've got to be consistently, and QPR just aren't. If they carry on doing this, yeah, they're scoring a lot of goals recently, but I still don't look at them and think they're going to do anything. So both of these sides, I think this is the most mid-table clash ever for this season. I kind of hope I'm wrong. I would like to see West Brom start Mason and do something, and I like some of the players that QPR have brought in, especially going forward. So I hope for the best for both of them. But my God, no, I'm not seeing it really. Good win for QPR though. Let's take it away from you against a really, really shit West Brom side. But you've got to sack Mason, man, because he's crap. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, never once doubted these. Never once. I always knew Sheffield United to get out of it. They might win league, to be honest. They're that good. You've got to give them credit where it's due, haven't you? Against a Stoke side that, yes, maybe, you know what? Maybe they've caught them at a good time. Like, Stoke are crap. I've never rated these anyway. 4 losses in 5 games. What's actually happened to these? Like, Stoke looked so good and were so consistent for a while. What has happened the last few weeks to concede the amount of goals that they have? Like, they're always in the games, apart from this one, which is where you've got to really give Sheffield United some credit here. Stoke are always in the games, even in the losses. Like, a lot of games that they've been drawing, you could have looked at it and thought, maybe they could have lost that. But they do well to grind it out and, like, stay in games a lot. The losses are by 1 goal to Coventry, Leicester, and Hull. So for Sheffield United to absolutely obliterate them, I'm not really sure what's gone on there. I do think, looking at the highlights and seeing what people have said, Sheffield United look better now, maybe the last couple of weeks, than they did any point in last season. If you've watched me for a while, you will know last season I'd thought nothing of Sheffield United. They were shit. Genuinely, for 2/3 of the season, they were crap every game. I must have watched them 10 times and not once did I think they were half decent. Apart from probably playoffs. That's the only time I've looked at them and thought, okay, yeah, now I can see why you've been in here. This game is better than anything I saw from Sheffield United all last season. The defence looks a lot stronger. Like, Tanganga's obviously fantastic. I think, you know what I think of him anyway. You should do. If you don't, then you should subscribe and you'll find out soon. Even Bamford scoring, Jesus Christ. To keep him fit, it's its own problem, but oh my God, you've got him Bamford and Campbell. You'd think you'd need to double physio department, wouldn't you, with them two stood up front? But if you can keep them fit, then you're doing a job. He looks good in middle and all, doesn't he? He's been a bit of a monster. I think they've missed that physical presence since Sousa left. But yeah, he looks a serious player, but definitely deserved. Like, better side start to finish, boatloads of shots. Like, they've conceded a lot of possession, which I just don't mind at all. Come on, man, you should know this by now. I'm not one that bums up a possession. I couldn't care less. There's so many different ways to play football, and if you can have 40% possession at home and have, what's that, 10 times the expected goals that Stoke have got, you've absolutely annihilated them, start to finish. This is a very good side, by the way, in Stoke, who have got one of the best keepers in... Well, I think he's best keeper in the league. I'm going to stand by that, even after conceded 4. I'm not going to change my mind. He's crap with his feet, but as a shot stopper, you'll do very well to find a better one than Johansson in this division. So to put 4 past him, credit where it's due. You set a pigs. Really good win. Thing is, if they're getting played... Right, let's be more realistic. How many have the top 2? 14 points off top 2. Well, that's not happening, and they've got worst playoff record of all time, so... Oh, this is going to get clipped up. I can just envision this being played back to me in May. Sheffield United will not get promoted this season. Let's not talk daft. Sheffield United will not get promoted this season. Southampton and Birmingham, yeah, not that surprising, really. Birmingham's away form is just shit. I actually don't know why. I can't quite bring myself to understand why. A lot of the games recently have been closer. Like, even the ones that they've been winning, like the Watford game at home, have been close, and I think maybe that's something where your own fans can definitely like drag you through it. But there's no excuse to have a away form that they do here. This is horrendous for the side that Birmingham have got. Their own form's obviously incredible, and they're probably getting top 6 just because of their own form being as good as it is. If you can win probably like 4 out of 5 of your home games, you're probably going to get in playoffs. Even if you just pick odd points up away from home, you're probably going to get in there. But they've got to sort this out. It's a tough one to come and expect to sort your away form out at, because Southampton have given this bloke job for a start. They've won 5 out of 6 games. They're scoring a lot of goals, Southampton, constantly. They look like a different side completely. So it's obviously a tough gig to ask them to come and win. But come on, man, you've got to change that away form. I do think it will start to change soon, and it's got to. But Southampton, another one that's really started putting it on. We could be in for some really, really good months coming up. I think end of this season, I still think Coventry will have won it like in April and they'll be done. But I'll tell you what, as this season goes on a little bit more, if you can have your Millwalls and maybe a Stoke or someone like that keeps in with it all season, and Middlesbrough, and then you've got Ipswich and Birmingham and Southampton coming up over the horizon a little bit more, we could be in for something good. Obviously not Sheffield United. In fact, maybe Sheffield United. But they'll not get promoted, so I'm not bothered. But we could be in for something special, baby. This is shaping up to be really good. Top win, though. Really top win. And Birmingham obviously had the chances. They've had a lot of ball. They've had more shots. Probably should have scored more than they did. But a top win for Southampton, that. And that new gaffer that they've got, I can understand actually why they've given him a 1.5 year deal. Because I saw people like a bit confused on that. It's his first job. So they might just be riding a bit away from what Will Still's implemented in him. Because I don't actually think that they've changed that much in terms of the play style. They're a bit more direct and obviously a lot more clinical. But I think Will still did some good work there, truly, in background to lay foundations of how they're playing now. This is this number two's first job. He could just be riding that wave, and ultimately, when it going gets tough again, when they go on a losing spell, they might be crap and you've got to sack him. So I can understand them giving a new man a 1.5-year deal at someone like Southampton. I can completely understand that. But he's doing a job, innit? Bloody hell. He's doing a really, really good job. 3-1 against this Birmingham team. Another crap away, but still, that's a top win, that is. Bloody hell, the end is nigh. Ring the bell. Swansea have won a game. Oh my God. Against Oxford at home. Really big win. Let me go and get standings up and look at the bottom. Yeah, really big win because Swansea found themselves really scrapping down bottom, and they still are, obviously. They're only a Portsmouth and Oxford win off being in bottom 3, so they're not out at woods yet, obviously. And this is a side that's been really, really shit all year. Did they deserve this win? Obviously, because they've scored 2 and Oxford have scored none. So that puts that to bed straight away. And it's baby steps, like, because all you wanted to do is win a game. Regardless of how you've done it, you just want to win. But I'm not sat here thinking, God, they've done really well there. Against one of the easiest fixtures in division, Oxford at home. Done really well here. Like, oh God, they've had so many more shots than them dominated possession. You can see clear implementations of a side that's going to get better. I don't think that about Swansea. I still think they're rubbish, but really good win in a game that I didn't think they'd get anything from. I honestly thought Oxford would come here and win with how good they've been recently. And I think the signs are there more for Oxford than they are for Swansea, of a side that does look better and does look like they're showing things. Obviously, that's stupid after Swansea have just won. But Oxford to come here and be in game a lot. They've had a lot of shots. They've done well, I do think, for the most part, in the game itself. Not clinical enough, definitely. And Swansea obviously do deserve a win. But looking forward long term, despite Swansea winning game, I think Oxford are more likely to stay up than they are. Still. Definitely. We can come and look at it in a few weeks and see who they've got. And obviously, end of January, then I think you truly know where everything's going to be. End of Jan. Once everybody's brought the boys in, yeah. But there's a couple of very, very big games coming up for Swansea. Huge ones. Going out way to probably West Brom at home. They've got Portsmouth at home, Wrexham at home, Oxford away, West Brom at home. 4 games there that you look at and think you've got to win a few of them to just give yourself a bit of breathing space. You don't just want to be 2 points in front at bottom 3 all season. You don't. It's an horrible place to be in. I've watched Barnsley half of my life do that. Be like just 2 points clear of safety. And you think you're going to have an heart attack. And now we're 9, 10, 11 when I thought I was going to have an heart attack watching Barnsley. It's an horrible position to be in. But you've got to start winning some games. Just show a little bit of something. They'll take win here. And it's first blocking it to try and build something. But God, you've got to start winning some games soon, Swansea. I'd feel sick, me, if I was supporting these. And then one last look at the table. Obviously, Wednesday, -10. Norwich still in bother despite playing better. Portsmouth, obviously, the game got cancelled with Charlton. Oxford and Swansea still in the same sort of positions in and around it. Down at bottom, I don't think that'll change, really. I still think take Sheffield United out of it and you're looking at Charlton down as the side. It's going to be free from them. But obviously moving up table a little bit. Obviously Sheffield United are making serious moves in the next couple of weeks. For such a humble club, they'll start telling you all that they're going to win league again. Southampton, another very big win. A big win for Watford and all that. I think it's gone under the radar a little bit because they're looking quite good. Birmingham's away form's horrendous and that might be their Achilles heel if anything is to stop them. Stoke absolutely battered. Preston get a point. Ipswich turn it on big style. Millwall, huge win away at Bristol City. But definite standout for me this week, Middlesbrough away at all. Top draw. And Ipswich obviously beating league leaders. But Middlesbrough, yeah, they've got me on side big time now. Good team. That's that. Absolute pleasure. I love you all. Kiss. Make sure you like, subscribe if you do enjoy. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you in a bit, baby. Red.
I say I'm a man. Yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.